Joining us now for the latest, White House Senior Counsel for Trade and Manufacturing, Peter Navarro. Peter, I'm so glad you have on the show. And you might have just heard Howard Lutnick. Do you have a deal lined up?
Happy anniversary, brother.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
20 years, man. Who would have thought?
Well,
yeah, not me.
It's great, man.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I want to see you. We just heard there may be deals. I want to go back. You taught me a long time ago when I read your book, Death by China, that there's real issues with China. You remember the 8 you told me, providing export subsidies, manipulating currency, counterfeiting, avoiding environmental regulations, enforcing minimal worker health, imposing import tariffs, employing predatory pricing, adopting protectionist measures. Why do we think tariffs can fix what you taught me is bad about China?
So, look, let's go there. But I got to say just one thing about today's news. That's the best negative print I have ever seen in my life. And the markets need to, look beneath the surface of that. We had a 22% increase in domestic investment. That is off the charts when you strip out inventories and the negative effects of the surge in imports because of the tariffs. You had 3% growth. So we really like where we're at now. With respect to China, look, Jim, we know that China cheats us. We know that we use tariffs to defend ourselves against that cheating. And what we're trying to do with China, as well as the rest of the world, get the tariff barriers down, get the non-tariff barriers down, and we do that with the strategy we're adopting. And I think it's working beautifully. We've had, they're taking numbers. It's like you got to go in and get a number now to get a meeting with the USTR, the United States Trade Representative, in order to make a deal. So all that's going to be great. So let's see what happens there.
All right, Kim, I want to clarify that on the GDP number, how we get to 3%, because I think there are a lot of people. The market's done really bad, Peter, so we got to try to figure this out.
Yeah. So basically, the way GDP is calculated is consumption plus investment plus government spending plus net exports. Okay? So right off the bat, when you have this import surge that we've had to try to get in ahead of the tariffs, that's dragging down our GDP growth by something like 5%. I mean, it's just extraordinary, but that's not going to be the case next quarter. So take that off the charts. And then government spending, that's obviously where you're doing the Doge thing and contracting government. And that's going to be fine. That's good for America because it gets rid of the waste, fraud, and abuse. So that leaves you with the two big drivers: consumption, which is the biggest of the two, and investment. And look, the Trump program with the deregulation, with the tax cuts that's coming, which will be retroactive to January, which will allow complete expensing, it surged. It surged what is it? 22%. 22%. And consumption, despite the soft data with the confidence being down, the consumption has been robust. Okay. So that number's a really good number sort out all of that stuff. And we should be celebrating Trump policy and that number.
So right now they're not doing that, but I understand. Now, Peter, are you trying to get a coalition of the willing against China? I'm focused on China. Why am I focused on it? Because when I think of what you want, and I read you your 8 that you have told me over and over again over the last decade, I don't understand how you can have that regime stay. That is totalitarian, communist, military dictatorship. You have said that over and over again. How does that stay unless you encircle them with others and keep an embargo on their trade?
Well, Jim, you might be surprised at this, but I do believe that the best way to negotiate with China is to really negotiate very, very quietly and behind the scenes. And so I'm not going to get up here and start waving flags and this, that, and the other thing. It's let that happen. I will say this, though, with respect to the rest of the world and other countries. The likely thing that's going to happen now, which every country has to be concerned about, is that as China sells less to us, they're going to try to sell more to the rest of the world. And because of their economic model, which by definition is a model based on predatory pricing and dumping, that means a lot of goods are going to be dumped into Europe, for example, into India, for example, into South America, into Africa. And those countries themselves are going to have to find a way to defend themselves against Chinese dumping, just like America is doing right now. And look, I would be remiss in not pointing out here that as we speak, we continue to have Americans die, not just of fentanyl poison from China, but from all the chemicals that are used by the Mexican drug cartels. The heroin, they use it for heroin, speed, ecstasy. They're putting it in counterfeit drugs like Xanax and Valium now. People are continuing to die from China. China, as you speak, every one of you has your little PDAs there, as they used to call them. It's like China's trying to hack those. They're trying to get our money, trying to get our identities. They steal our intellectual property. And they try to control every key critical industry in the world. So all of that's happening, and that's what we're trying to protect ourselves against, and by definition, the rest of the world.
But what do you do if you're a company like Apple, which was part of this fabric that we put together, which was post-1972, or World Trade Organization, where we wanted to do trade? We have a lot of companies that are there. I feel like our great companies are being discriminated against. I also feel that same thing in Vietnam, where you have companies that left China. I know there's bad transshipments from Vietnam, but when are we going to start favoring great American companies and let the other guys feel the hurt?
Well, here's what I can tell every company in the world, including our great American companies. If you're coming here and investing here in Trump land, you will have the most rapid regulatory approvals you've ever seen in modern American history to get stuff done. You're going to have amazing tax breaks for investing here, not just equipment, but in terms of buildings. And you're going to have a tariff wall to protect you from unfair competition. And because companies already understand that, Jim, that's why we've seen a commitment for over $5 trillion of investment. Apple should have been doing this years ago. They've played a strategy in China. You know, we're too big in China to fail, so please go easy on us. And they played that game now to the point where they really know that they have to move, and they will be able to do that. There's going to be a wonderful way to do that. They need to come here. They've pledged their investment. But it's going to be as hard as it might be for Apple. It's very doable. It's going to be easy for other companies around the world to come here. And by the way, the auto parts thing yesterday that the president signed was brilliant. I mean, if you look kind of beneath that, it shows the tactical flexibility of our policy, our responsiveness to a short-term problem in the auto industry with respect to the cost of parts. And it's all set up, and I have to credit Howard Lutnick for the architecture of this, for creating yet another incentive for auto companies to assemble here with American parts. And so that puts us at advantage to the rest of the world with respect to assembly. And, go ahead, Jim.
Well, actually, Peter, it's David. I just want to try and get to a couple of news items if we can. I mean, Lutnick yesterday indicated something was close, a trade deal was close with some country. Can you tell us, is that true, who it is, or at least give us some sense as to whether we're going to hear an announcement soon?
Sure, and look, to be clear, I'm not an active part of the negotiation at the table by choice. That's not what I do here, but I'm very plugged into what is being done. And Jameson Greer, the United States trade representative who kind of grew up at the knee of Lighthizer and is brilliant and strong, very much in his own right, is working very closely with Howard Lutnick. And the way it works, and this is happening as we speak, is like every hour on the hour we've got countries coming into the building across the street there, the USTR, negotiating. And they're doing across 5 verticals. with respect to the different kinds of tariff differentials, non-tariff barriers, and other kinds of issues that we need to have discussions with about. In terms, some of that's what Jim referred to as the coalition of the willing on some of these broader issues.
So you think something's close
and it's
or
working
not?
great.
I mean,
it's close.
Yeah.
It's close.
It's close.
I mean, you have to. I mean, look, what Howard said was interesting. He's absolutely right. In an Indian democracy, it's got to go through the prime minister and the parliament. We can't just do that. But we're moving in Trump time, which is to say as fast as possible.
Hey, Peter, it's also become a parlor game trying to understand your influence and how much you have on the president at any given time. I mean, because the Treasury Secretary is viewed as having a somewhat different view than you do. Certainly Elon Musk, who you feuded with, has a different view. Do you think right now the president is open to and willing to listen to your advice and counsel?
Look, the president is the master strategist, the commander-in-chief. I'm just here to serve and help him do what he wants to do in what might be the best way possible, both tactically and strategically. And all this kind of like Game of Thrones stuff that's played out in the press through anonymous leaks, I would just heavily discount it here. We're focused on the mission. The president is the key person who guides both the strategy and the tactics. And the rest of us are simply soldiers out in the field making sure that the war gets won.
All right, well, I want to come back just to a company, NVIDIA. You met with Jensen Huang. You know he's a great American. You know what they've accomplished. They are committed to building $500 billion worth of materials here. They are integral to the Taiwan Semi project. And then we just learned that you guys may be even tougher than the Biden administration on where they're able to sell things. And I'm trying to figure out, what does it take? What does it take to get on your good side?
Yeah. Why have sectoral tariffs on semiconductors when we're trying to build up AI here, Peter?
Well, not my lane, which is a little bit of a cop-out in the sense I know you want hard answers to hard questions.
No, because I know you like NVIDIA. I know you think it's a great American company.
I'll give you the landscape here. AI is the next frontier for control of this world, both economically and from a military point of view. So the question of chips in terms of where they go and how they get there is very much an important one to both the military and economic security of this country. So we have to think very, very carefully about what's going on. And I would ask you to simply be a little patient. We're going through the process of investigating this whole chips issue. It's very complicated because there's three different layers, basically, the high-end AI chips, the mid ones, and then the bulk commodity ones. We got to figure out what's best, not just for America, but for the rest of the world with respect to maintaining peace and prosperity. Because AI, as you know, it's a mixed bag in terms of our future.
Understood. Please remember the 8 principles that you drilled into my head repeatedly about China. I don't want you to forget them now that you're in there and people try to do a deal. I want to thank Peter Navarro for coming on and talking about trade. Peter, thank you so much for the kudos, about 20 years, and thank you for coming on the show.
Always a pleasure. Anytime you guys want, I'll be back.